All right, guys, behind me, there are 11 simple steps that you can follow to create a $1 million SaaS company. And this isn't like a get rich quick scheme or anything like that, so it's gonna take a little bit of work, but I'm gonna show you the 11 steps on how you can build a software as a service company today. Even if you don't have an idea, if you don't know what direction to take, if you don't know how to start development, if you don't know how to make sure you don't run out of money during development, these steps right here on this board are gonna teach you everything that you need to know in order to build the next best SaaS. My name is shah.siddiki. Let's get into it. By the end of this video, you will be able to apply this 11-step framework and start building your own SaaS company today. Trust me, guys, I've been there, done that, and I'm gonna be teaching you guys directly from the mistakes that I made on a daily basis almost, and making sure that you guys don't make those same mistakes. And I'm gonna save you a shit ton of time and a lot of money. All right, guys, so why should you even care what I have to say? So my name is Shah. I've built 4 companies over the past 10 years, in which last year we did about $9.5 million in overall revenue. I make these videos to help you guys out. Hopefully what I show you guys today will help you start your SaaS company from the ground up. And I'm hoping I can create some success stories out there. So if you're a young individual who's looking to start in the newest, sickest, most amazing, most profitable business that exists today in the year 2024, 2025, trust me, SaaS is the next big thing. All right, guys, so before we dive in, if you guys are interested in watching more videos about SaaS, I want you to go subscribe right now, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you guys want to see. With that said, guys, let's get right into it. All right, I'm gonna do it backward. 6. Number 1, guys, we're gonna start off with niches make riches. When you're building a software, you want to build a software for a specific industry. You don't wanna make a software that's just for anybody, right? AKA restaurants or e-commerce companies or dealerships or hotels. Something specific where you can walk in and you can actually find these people in some sort of specific gathering, whether it's a conference, whether it's literally walking into hotels and talking to the owners of the hotels, right? What I always tell people is, the best hack to use when you're picking a niche is pick a niche that you have experience in, okay? Do not try to get into a niche which you have no idea about, right? So now let's talk about why getting into a niche is really important, right? So let's just say hotels, right? So in hotels, you're going to have 1,000 other softwares that are potentially competing in the space, right? So for you to come in to an industry where there's 1,000 other softwares, in which there are, let's just say 70,000, and I'm just making up numbers here, but let's just say there were 70,000 hotels in the United States of America, right? In the USA, if that's where you're starting your business, then you have the ability to go in and actually capture, let's just say 1% of this market. 1% of this market is gonna land you with 700 hotels. All you need to do is sell those 700 hotels a product that is worth, or that costs them, let's just say $300, right? If you could sell 700 hotels, a product for which you charge $300 per month, right? You'd be looking at $210,000 in MRR, which is monthly recurring revenue. Guys, I want you to understand how crazy that number is. $210,000 generated a month from selling a $300 product at only taking 1% of a 70,000 unit industry. All right, guys. Let's move on to number 2. All right, guys, next is background checks. So now that you picked a niche, right, let's just say hotels, you're gonna wanna go talk to hotel owners. But before you can go talk to hotel owners, what you need to do is you need to put together some background checks. Background checks are going to get you prepared to build your prospect list. All right, guys, so your prospect list is your first few people that you're gonna wanna target in order to sell this SaaS product that you're gonna be building, right? We're gonna come back to that a little bit later in this video, but what we're gonna be talking about right now is how you're gonna actually do the background checks for these prospects. So let's start off, God damn, bro. So let's start off real quick by talking about what you actually need to be putting onto that background check. So a couple questions that you're gonna wanna add onto that background check are, what are your profit margins, right? Because you need to be able to classify these companies, guys. Not all these hotels are gonna be created equal. Some hotels are gonna be making a lot of profit. Some hotels are gonna be making less profit. I wanna ask them, what are your profit margins? Because you wanna be able to classify the companies or hotels that are at this profit margin are seeming to have these issues, while the hotels that are at a lower profit margin don't seem to have those same issues. Next question you're gonna wanna put on there is, how much did you do in sales last year, right? Because it's important to understand how much are these companies doing in sales, because ultimately you do not want to be generalizing a problem across all hotels, because all hotels do run differently. Another thing that I want to mention real quick is that you want to go for the majority in this industry, right? What does that mean? Majority means you don't want to be going for the very specific, extremely corner case hotels, right? You want like the ones that are like in Albuquerque, and I'm sorry if you live in Albuquerque, I don't really know much about it, but to me, being from Orange County, California, it's a little bit rural, right? So you might not want to be going for the hotels that are off the beaten path, right? You might want to be going for the hotels that are in regular cities, in cities where commuters stop. Maybe people travel through these cities, right? So you want to be going for the 70%, what I call the 70%, not the 30%, right? So you don't want to be going for the 30% of niche and super corner case hotels. You want to be going for the 70%, which are the majority of hotels, because that's the people that you're going to be trying to sell when the software is actually done. Now, the biggest question, and I'm going to write this in a different color because it's extremely important, is what are your problems? What are the problems that you're facing? Let me know what the problems are that you're facing on a daily basis, because I am here right now to help you solve those problems, right? If you say the words, I just need 5 minutes of your time so I can hear your problems. I'm not here to sell you anything. I just want to hear your problems so that hopefully I can build something and I can bring it back to you, and you'll be able to have those problems be solved by the software that I end up building, right? That's what you're trying to do. So what are your problems? And that is the ultimate reason why we build these background checks. All right, moving on to the next point. Dude, I think I need you to help me erase this shit. Just make it super wet. All right. Next step is gonna be interrogate. You're gonna wanna do cold outreach. There's no such thing as easy when you're building a SaaS. It doesn't exist. So if you expect it's gonna be easy to get a hold of these people, you're wrong, okay? You're gonna wanna get a hold of 50 of these people. You have to be tenacious. You have to have perseverance. This is not for the light of heart. The couple pieces of advice that I have is if you're in a professional industry, for example, you're building software for accountants, you probably wanna go look on LinkedIn. If you're in a blue collar industry, you're probably gonna wanna go look on like Yelp, Google, make some phone calls. And like I said, the best bet that you have for your first few prospects at least is you wanna just walk into the company and you wanna talk to the owners. Usually these companies, especially blue collar companies and even the accounting firms, usually the owner is actually working in the firm. You're gonna wanna go do a 50-person outreach. If you were already in the industry, for example, you were in construction and you're trying to create a software for construction companies, well, go back to your boss. Go back to your boss. Go to your friends, right? Go to your friends in the same industry that you're trying to solve problems in and ask them, what problems do you have? The other thing is, and this is huge, right? Is networking events, right? Go on Facebook. There's a lot of groups that exist for pretty much any industry nowadays. Go figure out where the networking events are. I didn't put it on the list, but just walk in to the company. I'll put it here. Actually, this is the top one. Put it in bold, right? Walk into the companies and ask for the owner's time. 50 people, if you cannot do 50 people, you're not built to do a SaaS. It's not gonna be easy. Like I said, do it, just do it. All right, guys, next, problem hacking. Now, you have built a list of problems, right? So you already have a list of problems. Now what you're gonna do is you're gonna go ahead and open Excel or Google Sheets. You're gonna put all those problems in ranking order from the ones that were most asked or most prevalent to least. What exactly is problem hacking? Why did I name this thing problem hacking? Because what you're doing is you're taking your 50 prospects, you're taking all the problems that they listed, and now you're individually going and adding those problems. And obviously some people are gonna phrase problems in different ways. You're gonna have to kind of generalize how you take those problems in and then go put them on this sheet right here. And that will ultimately give you a ranking order of problems that people have. And you're going to then take this list of problems and we're gonna do something really special with it in step 5. Step 5, this one's a frisky one, all right? So some of you guys might frown on this one, but I'm gonna tell you right now, man, I'm here to help you guys. And so for those of you that are frowning, it's because you don't want me to help these people that are watching right now save a lot of time and a lot of money. The MVP is going to be built off of your problem hacking list, okay? So you're gonna take the top 3, and I want to emphasize only 3 problems that come off of your problem hacking list, right? And that's off the Excel or Google sheet that you have. You're gonna take the top 3 problems, and this will then end up becoming eventually your MVP. So what you do now is for the MVP, which is your minimum viable product, most of you guys probably already know that. For your minimum viable product, it's the least amount of features that you need to put together in order to create a solution for the market that you're trying to create a solution for. So you're gonna take those top 3 problems and you're gonna build a feature list, okay? So now you're building a feature list, and this feature list will allow you to build what I call a test marketing plan. Now, this is the part where a lot of you guys are gonna go, "Ooh, no, I don't wanna do that," but If you're in that group, cool, so be it. It's cool. You can go ahead and just move straight on to the next step, which is move to the MVP. But for those of you that want to save a shit ton of time and a shit ton of money, you're gonna want to listen to this. So build a test marketing plan. What is a test marketing plan? You're gonna pretty much put together an entire list of features and imagine what your MVP is gonna be like. And then you're going to build a website that surrounds the entire idea of this MVP that you're building and all the solutions that the SaaS is gonna bring to the market that you're building this product for. And then what you're gonna do is you're going to make it seem like the product is already done. Don't put anywhere on the website that there's some sort of wait time for this product to be completed and whatnot, and that it's still in development, whatever, right? And that's where a lot of you guys are gonna frown, but guess what? I'm here to just save you money and save you time. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna try to get people to come to that website, whether it's from Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever social media platforms you have. If you have a little bit of money to push Google ads, use a little bit of money to push some Google ads to see if you can get people to land on that page and actually submit a sign up or join the wait list, join now. Every single time, set that up so that it actually pings you through email. And every single time you get an email, that will be not only just be motivation for you, but you also have a proven concept, right? Now, you know, if you build this product, people will come and they will buy from you. Now, here's the thing. Some of you guys might be saying, well, Shah, like, I don't know, man, like, how can I get people to come to this website? Well, I'm gonna give you a little secret right now. If you can't get them to come to the website right now, you also will not be able to get them to come to the website when your product is ready. Figure out how you're gonna build a website that's gonna get people to come to the website and obviously be interested enough in this product to actually sign up for something. Now, like I said, you're not gonna have anything to sell them, but the good news is now you can move on to step number 6, which is actually building your MVP. And you just saved a shit ton of time and money. If it didn't work out, good. If it worked out, even better. Here is where the real fun starts, right? All right, guys, so I'm gonna stop for a second real quick. I'm gonna be dropping way more in this channel right here, so subscribe right now. Also check out theunreasonableclub.com. If you go to that website right now, sign up for our group that we're gonna be starting pretty soon. Guys, I'm telling you, whatever you're seeing here, multiply that times 100 is what you're gonna get out of that group, all right, guys? It's going to be absolutely insane, so be ready for it. Now let's go ahead and move on to the second half of the steps. Okay, so this is where the real fun begins, all right, guys? So far, what we've done is we found a niche, we have figured out the problems that niche has, we've categorized it, we've built a feature list for the MVP, and hopefully by now, we've already tested to make sure that people will actually want to buy this product by building that website and trying to get some traffic to that website to see if people sign up. Now that people are signing up, we are ready to make our MVP. MVP. So we're gonna make sure that we don't waste a ton of money building features that we don't need. So we're gonna go ahead and start off by building a list of requirements, right? So for those of you that don't know what requirements are necessary to build any software, right? You need a list of features that are necessary to build the minimum viable product, and the minimum viable product should have the least amount, an emphasis on least, I don't know how to spell, there we go, least amount of features that you could possibly put inside this software to create a solution to the problem that you're trying to solve. So next, you want to define purpose, right? So if you don't have a defined purpose as a SaaS founder, it's more important to be a good leader than it is to actually be technical and know exactly what the technicalities are behind building a software, right? You need to be able to be a good leader. And by the way, in the Unreasonable Club, we actually talk a lot in our group about how to be a good leader and how to guide your team and also how to keep your team motivated. That's huge. I cannot explain enough on how many teams end up failing because they aren't motivated enough. The pieces, right? Because as a company, we are just a accumulation of the 5 or 7 pieces that are moving all together. And if we stop moving all together, the ship sinks. So next, we're gonna go ahead and build a list of core features. All right, guys, I have so many times when I first started made the mistake of the one more feature thing, right? We are not going to allow ourselves to get stuck in the one more feature thing. So I'm gonna put a big star next to this because there's a massive emphasis on core features. We do not want to build anything that we don't need, okay? And again, when it comes to accountability and when it comes to making sure that you don't end up spending a lot of money and a lot of time building something that won't even sell, we talk about that in our group as well. And you should be talking to individuals like myself. I'd love to talk to you or other individuals that are successful in our group which ultimately will be able to give you advice on how not to get stuck building that one more feature. You want to build this list of core features and you want to be married to it at the beginning. And how do you do that? You do it by consulting with other people that have already built successful SaaS companies in order to make sure that you don't end up going into it and thinking, oh man, I completely forgot to add this in, or I should have added that in. So please, if you want to talk, please shoot me an email and I'd love to talk to you. So next, and the final step to building an MVP is going to be describing the user story. You need to be able to take the product that you're creating and write the following sentence with it. As a user, I want to add in your action so that add in your benefit, right? You want to be able to put this sentence together, and that should be able to describe your entire MVP. For example, as a hotel owner, I want to be able to track the performance of my hotel so that I can increase the profits of my hotel, right? So that is what an MVP should be able to do for you. And this right here is the blueprint on how to create an MVP. Now, we're gonna be making a lot more videos on this channel right here. So if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe right now, because we're gonna make this right here alone is an hour-long conversation, but I don't have time to get into that right now because we're about to move on to step number 7. It's time to choose your weapon. In our group, we build using NoCode. So I'm gonna put a few different examples of different NoCode platforms that exist. I'm not gonna go through all the pros and cons of them. If you wanna learn about that, you can definitely join the group or join the waitlist right now. And we're gonna be talking a lot about what these different platforms offer. So let's start from the beginning. A couple that I've talked about before, Bubble, right? This one's like really well known. Everybody knows about this one. If you looked even for 17 seconds, you'll find Bubble really quickly. Again, no-code platform. Number 2, WeWeb, another no-code platform. All these no-code platforms work a little bit differently. WeWeb's actually a really good choice. It allows for front end and back end to be completely separate. You can also export your code. Bubble is all in one, front end, back end is all in one, and you cannot export your code. Really easy to use, and there's a lot of developers that actually do work on Bubble. But again, pros and cons, right? Pros and cons to both of them. Flutterflow, and the list goes on and on and on. Now, guys, there happens to be a negative stigma around the whole no-code thing. First of all, people don't like it because they think it's not scalable. They think it's not something that's going to work for a long time. Here's the thing: when you're building an MVP, you don't want something that's scalable to 1 million users. You got to get your first user first, right? And I promise you, if it's not scalable past 10,000 users, you're gonna be making so much money by the time you're at 9,999 users that you're not going to give a shit about having to go rebuild that platform off the ground, right? So obviously you shouldn't wait till you're 1 user away from 10,000. And also, by the way, 10,000 is not some sort of hard limit on these no-code platforms. I'm just using that as an example. But with that said, you definitely don't want to wait till that point. But at the same time, you shouldn't be worried about getting to 1 million users when you don't even have one. Our goal is ultimately to build a platform as quickly and as cheap as you possibly can. And that's why no-code is the best way to build your platform. If you guys want to learn more about the no-code platforms that exist and which one might be the best to build your product, you already know where this is going. Join the group. All right, so now it's time to find your hitman, right? You're gonna get the kill now. So now that you figured out all the things that you need inside this MVP, you now gotta find the guys that are gonna help you build it. So things like Fiverr, how do you spell Fiverr? Fiverr, 2 R's. Fiverr, Upwork, Facebook, YouTube, because a lot of these guys are making videos of what they're building and putting them on YouTube. Google, right? Because there's a bunch of agencies that actually exist today now that actually build no-code platforms. Just like you have agencies that build traditional platforms, you have agencies that build only on no-code platforms. Or I'm gonna give you the best hack that you can use, and it's this secret website, okay? TheUnreasonableClub.com, you guessed it, okay guys? So here's the thing, I'm not saying that you can't find the hitman on one of these platforms, but it's gonna take you a lot longer when we've already literally corralled all the best no-code developers and got them to join this group, right? Why would you go search for water in the desert when you can go straight to the well? So guys, I'm not saying it's the only place you can find your developer, but it's a great option. Now we're gonna move on to step number 9. We're almost done. It's all about family, right? You guys have heard that before. It's a really bad reference to Fast and Furious if you don't know. Anyways, so now it's all about family, right? So you had, at the beginning, you had 50 prospects, right? These are the people that you went and you spoke to before you had anything. The 50 prospects are your family. You want to keep these guys connected. So most of you guys have probably heard of building in public. And earlier on in the video, we talked about going to this 50 prospects. And now, because we have the contact information, we know how to reach them, chances are hopefully they're our friends now, we want to stay connected with them. So through using platforms like WhatsApp, or if you're in a little bit more of a technical field, you can use Discord. I don't like using Discord unless the people that you're talking to are actually technical, because it gets a little bit complicated and it's a little weird. Even for me, I don't really like using it. Another simple one is Telegram. These right here will allow you to stay connected. So why do you want to stay connected? You want to go back to those people that you were talking to at the very beginning and say, hey guys, look, I'm building my MVP and I'm 3 months in. Guys, check out this latest feature that I just released, and show them a quick little snippet showing them what your software can do for them, right? A quick solution to a problem that they told you that they had, and just keep dumping in there and people will tell you their thoughts. You might even get guided in a better direction and save yourself a lot of money. Your goal is that these people right here will be your first 50 customers. You already talked to them. You already put in the time, energy, and effort to get a hold of them. Now, just make them your customers. It's not that hard. If you keep them updated throughout the process and you keep talking to them and they're in the group with each other and they're talking to each other as well and bouncing ideas back and forth, trust me, they're gonna feel like they're invested in this product, and that will be the first 50 customers that you get on your software. All right, moving on to step number 10. This is the last step before the best part. Oh, this one's good. I like this one. Step number 10, dip your toes in, baby. All right, so anyways, I'm gonna be talking about 80% versus 20%. So when it comes to software development and specifically MVP development, what happens is 80% of your software will take you this long, okay? So 80% of your software to build takes you about that long. This is time, okay? So this is time. And then the last 20%, because this is the first 80%, the last 20% takes you this long. All right, so what am I trying to say? What I'm trying to say is that to button up all the little tiny details and get everything to look perfect and work perfect and all the hover effects are working and all the corners are rounded on every single button and the text sizes, all of that takes just as long, if not longer, than building 80% of the functionality, okay? So dip your toes in, put it out there. Now, I'm not saying go launch it to the public. You have those 50 prospects that you've kept in this group throughout the entire process, right? You've updated them through the different things that you've been doing. You want to now go to them and say, hey guys, you guys have helped me build something great, but I need you guys to try it out now, right? It doesn't work perfectly. It's gonna have issues. It's gonna have problems. And a lot of people might be thinking, oh yeah, those are beta testers. Well, kind of, but not really. They're more like alpha testers where the software's not even done. Beta testing is kind of like it's pretty much done and people are allowed to try it and it's kind of open to the public. This is more like alpha testing. It's a very closed off group of people and you're telling them, hey, it doesn't work that well. I want you to try it. Now, here's the thing. This is where you start listening and paying attention closely, because if you do this right and you pay attention to details and pay attention to the asks of the people that are using it, you will now be able to make those small little adjustments as you get closer and closer and closer to completing this product. And while this last 20%, maybe the last 2-3 months or whatever it is of your product is being completed, you make those tweaks. You ask your development team, your front end, your back end developers to adjust the things that you need to adjust. And guess what? You now will end up with a product that if you had this initial 100%, might not have even sold. But because you launched it right here at the 80%, you created the last 20% in a way where it solves the problems that you would have had in the first 80%. And now you have a product that overall is a lot better and has a much higher chance of selling because you launched it before it was done. You don't want to go finish all of this and take that double time that you need to take to finish that last 20% and come to realize that you're just gonna have to go start the whole thing over again anyways, right? You want to, at 80%, I'm not saying start the whole thing over, you want to launch it. You wanna get the insights and the pointers and everything, and you want to solve the problems as you're still building, okay? That is dipping your toes in. And guys, the last and final step is right here. All right, launch the product. It's all done, it's over, you did it. Wrong, okay. You have a shit ton more work to do. But you launched a product, that's good. You got a product out there and you've got your monthly recurring revenue, hopefully is looking something like this. You got your ARR, you got your churn, hopefully staying pretty low, close to zero. Hopefully people aren't dropping. You might see a little bit, higher churn earlier on, right? So this is time This is dollars, right? So you might see a little bit higher churn in the first 1, 2, 3 months, but hopefully that churn starts slowing down and you start heading in the right direction. And as this is all happening, guys, this is where it all starts. This is your real start line, okay? It's not a finish line, it's a start line, because now you've got to pay really close attention to what the customers are telling you, right? If these graphs aren't going in the direction that they're supposed to go in, there's a problem, right? And I have actually a full breakdown on how you can actually check the performance of your company every single month, along with graphical data. It's actually a Google Sheet template that I've made, and you guys can actually download that directly inside our group on theunreasonableclub.com. And it'll show you exactly how you can keep track of all the data, all the moving parts of the business in order to ensure that you are actually performing better this month than you were last month, right? It's really easy to think, okay, well, our sales are going up, so we're doing really well. But here's the thing, company valuations, right? Because we started off this entire video by talking about how you can build a $1 million SaaS company. Company valuations are based on two things, okay? They're based on profitability and growth. If you are high profit and you're growing fast, you're going to be worth a lot of money. If you're low profit but growing fast, you're still gonna be worth a good amount of money. So let's put a lot of money here, right? You're gonna be worth a good amount of money, even if you're low profit but you're growing really fast, because there's still an increase. But if you're low profit and low growth, guess what? You're not gonna be worth any money, right? So your goal is that you want to have high profit, high growth, to make the most amount of money possible. Not only will your company sell for $1 million, but it might even sell for 100 million if you could figure out this formula right here in a market that's big enough to create that income. So with that said, guys, at the launch, there's a lot more to think about. We have templates within our group, and I'm gonna be making more videos specifically just on this right here. We're gonna be talking about net ARR, which is not the same thing as just ARR. For those of you guys that don't know, expansion, we've got churn that we wanna take into consideration, and we've got new ARR, right? And we're gonna do a whole nother video talking about how this graph right here that I drew really quickly is actually all down to just keeping track of one thing, which is net ARR. I'm gonna define that for you in the video. So if you haven't already subscribed, guys, please go ahead and subscribe. If you've seen the value in being able to now go and start to finish, launch your idea, go ahead and hit this video with a like, comment down below what you guys wanna learn, what you guys wanna see. And I know this video was really, really long and there was a lot to absorb, but if you watch this video through, I'm hoping that you feel confident that you could start today and build your very own SaaS company and make $1 million starting from the ground up. Once again, my name is Shah.Siddiki. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.